Number 15. A small island nation with one of the world's largest seas. The Solomon Islands is an island nation in the South Pacific, part of Oceania. This archipelago is located east of Papua New Guinea and comprises over 900 islands, big and small, stretching across a geographical area of more than 1,500 kilometers. Among them, Guadalcanal Island is central and home to the capital city, Honiara. Honiara isn't just the administrative center, it's also the main gateway for international tourists and the economic heart of the nation, concentrating most services and commercial activities. With a total land area of about 28,400 square kilometers, this is a small country, ranking only 141st globally. However, thanks to the widespread distribution of its coral reefs and scattered islands, it boasts an impressive exclusive economic zone, EEZ, of up to 1.6 million square kilometers, more than 50 times its land area. This makes the nation a true maritime powerhouse, holding one of the world's largest sea territories. About 70% of the country's land area is covered by dense tropical rainforests. These are home to thousands of endemic plant and animal species, many of which haven't been found anywhere else in the world. Thanks to its unique and nearly pristine ecosystem, this island nation is considered one of the top biodiversity hotspots in the Pacific region. The Solomon Islands has a tropical oceanic climate, which is hot and humid year-round but relatively pleasant, with an average temperature of about 27 degrees Celsius, around 81 degrees Fahrenheit. However, a tip for anyone wanting to visit is to always carry an umbrella, as it rains almost constantly there. Regarding language, while English is the official language, only about 2% of the population uses it fluently in daily communication. Instead, locals prefer Pidgin, a language derived from English but significantly altered. Notably, the Solomon Islands is recognized as one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world, with about 120 different dialects and variations. Number 14. Women respond to proposals with seashells and fish. Women in the Solomon Islands aren't just beautiful with that wild, natural Pacific Island charm. They're also symbols of resilience, diligence, and a deep connection to their indigenous culture. They have naturally curly hair, sun-kissed dark skin, and gentle yet strong eyes. Their clothing is often simple, but adorned with intricate handmade accessories like necklaces and bracelets, woven from plant fibers, beads, seashells, or coral, reflecting their harmonious bond with nature. In daily life, women here aren't just homemakers. They're also pillars in productive work, like farming, harvesting, weaving, and crafting. Solomonian women are also known for their culinary skills, preparing dishes with fish, wild vegetables, and coconut. They're also excellent at teaching their children traditional songs, dances, weaving, and embroidery from a very young age. One of the most charming cultural aspects here is how people express affection. When a young man wants to show his feelings, instead of bringing flowers, chocolate, or a diamond ring, he'll give the woman he loves a large fish he caught himself, often a grouper or snapper. Along with it, he'll present a bracelet woven from jungle vines, adorned with white seashells, as a way to express his sincerity and a promise of provision and protection. If the girl agrees, she'll give him back a fish and a similar bracelet, accepting the relationship and the proposal. So, do you think a proposal with fish and seashells is romantic? Would you want to try this method if you visited the Solomon Islands? Let me know your thoughts. Number 13. Interesting facts about Solomon Islanders. Around the world, the combination of dark skin and naturally blonde hair is extremely rare. However, this is perfectly normal in the Solomon Islands, home to the Melanesian people. Many indigenous locals there have jet black skin but naturally golden blonde hair, creating a unique and striking appearance. Initially, many believed this was the result of genetic mixing, but that's actually not the case. This phenomenon is caused by a unique TYRP1 gene mutation, a trait found in only about 5 to 10% of the native population. Locals call this special hair color the color of the sun, and it's particularly common in young children. The hair tends to darken over time, almost like a unique gift reserved just for childhood in the Solomons. The interesting facts don't stop there. Despite living by the sea, Solomon Islanders don't eat crab, shrimp, or any other creature with many legs or white blood. The reason comes from traditional beliefs. These crustaceans are considered unclean or sacred and are not suitable for food. Because of this, Fish becomes the main protein source in their daily meals, being both abundant and culturally acceptable. And if you're chatting with a Solomon Islander, don't expect a nod. In their culture, people rarely nod to show agreement like Westerners do. Instead, they'll raise their eyebrows to signal, yes. This often confuses first-time visitors, as a slight eyebrow raise can completely replace saying, yes. Similarly, if you see someone raise their eyebrows and smile when they look at you, they might be saying hello, or they might be agreeing with what you just said. Number 12. Ant burials and skull islands in the Solomon Islands. You've probably heard of cremation and water burials, but have you ever heard of an ant burial? In some tribes in the Solomon Islands, there's one of the most gruesome funeral customs on the planet. Instead of burying or cremating the deceased, the body is taken to a wilderness area to be eaten by ants until only the skeleton remains. The skull is then collected and brought back to a small island called Nuskunda. Nuskunda is considered a sacred cemetery for some communities. Here, the skulls aren't placed randomly but arranged in a strict order, reflecting the social status of each person during their lifetime. Skulls on lower tiers typically belong to lower classes, slaves, commoners, or prisoners of war captured in ethnic conflicts. They were buried simply, with almost no grave goods. Conversely, skulls in higher positions belong to people of status, chiefs, warriors, village elders, or individuals who played important roles in the community. They were often buried more carefully, and accompanied by many rituals showing respect. Additionally, there are still a few tribes that practice polygyny. Men can take multiple wives, not only for status, but also to increase labor for farming, pig raising, and production. The more wives a man has, the wealthier, more powerful, and more respected he is considered. However, having many wives isn't necessarily a good thing. Many women in polygynous families face jealousy, emotional competition, and even simmering conflicts over vying for attention and status within the family. This is why, in some communities in Bougainville, there's been a phenomenon of young women intentionally displaying their natural sensuality as a way to attract attention from potential partners. Have you heard of any funeral practices stranger than an ant burial? Share them in the comments. Who knows? There might be something even more chilling out there. Number 11. U.S. President John F. Kennedy, rescued by Solomon Islanders. Before he became the U.S. President, John F. Kennedy nearly lost his life in the waters of the Solomon Islands. In 1943, while serving as a naval commander in World War II, his patrol torpedo boat, the PT-109, was rammed and sunk by a Japanese destroyer in the dead of night in the strait between the islands. Kennedy and his surviving crew members drifted for hours in the ocean, then had to swim for kilometers in the darkness to a small, deserted island. While Kennedy and his team were exhausted, two Solomon Islander men, Biuku Gasa and Aroni Kumana, stumbled upon them. They promptly provided Kennedy's group with food, water, and crucially, helped them contact Allied forces. Without a radio or any communication equipment, Kennedy carved a distress message onto a coconut shell and entrusted Biuku and Aroni to deliver it to the command base. Kennedy's life and the future of American politics were saved, thanks to the courage of these two islanders. Later, as president, Kennedy kept that very coconut shell with the carved message on his desk in the White House. And the island where he took refuge was also named Kennedy Island, as a way to remember the Solomon Islanders' role in this extraordinary event. Number 10. The epicenter of World War II. The Solomon Islands was once at the heart of one of the most brutal battlegrounds of World War II. Nearly all the waters around these islands witnessed fierce engagements between the Allied forces and the Imperial Japanese Army. One of the most notable conflicts was the Battle of Guadalcanal, which took place from 1942 to 1943. This historic confrontation turned the waters surrounding the archipelago into a site subjected to thousands of shell blasts, bombs, and countless bloody clashes. In the northern Strait of Guadalcanal alone, now ominously known as Ironbottom Sound, more than 50 warships, submarines, and aircraft sank deep beneath the surface, creating a gigantic metal graveyard in the middle of the ocean. Today, Ironbottom Sound has undergone a spectacular transformation, evolving from a fierce battleground into a unique, world-class diving destination. The wartime shipwrecks and aircraft lie silently beneath the clear blue waters, now covered in corals, sea cucumbers, and seaweed, becoming rich habitats for diverse marine life, from sharks and rays to vibrant schools of tropical fish. When exploring the Solomon Sea, these colossal rusted warships are not just extraordinary sights, but also tangible evidence of significant World War II historical events, present in a very real way. Annually, this area attracts thousands of professional divers and adventure tourists. They come here not only to experience the rich coral ecosystem, but also to directly observe and study the historical legacies hidden within each ship and aircraft at the bottom of the ocean. Number 9. One of the world's most earthquake-prone nations. The Solomon Islands is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, the planet's most geologically active area. This geographic position makes this small nation one of the most frequent victims of earthquakes and tsunamis in the world. According to statistics from international geological organizations, the Solomon Islands experiences hundreds of earthquakes, large and small, every year, including some that reach magnitudes of 7 or 8 on the Richter scale. These powerful seismic events often come with the risk of tsunamis, directly threatening coastal communities and small island populations. Among these, the 8.1 magnitude earthquake in 2007 on Gizo Island was one of the most severe disasters, claiming dozens of lives and destroying over 900 homes. Its aftershocks even affected as far as Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu. If you ever visit the Solomon Islands, you'll see numerous tsunami evacuation signs erected along coastal roads in towns and residential areas. These signs are typically written in both English and the local Pidgin language for easy understanding by both residents and tourists. Locals also regularly participate in drills on how to evacuate during earthquakes and tsunamis. In many fishing villages, natural high points like hills or mounds have been designated as emergency evacuation sites. Some islands have even built simple community warning towers using air horns and bamboo drums, which are used to sound alarms in emergencies when there's no electricity. Number 8. Own a private island for the price of an apartment. In other countries, you might need to spend millions of dollars to own an island, and that island might even be undeveloped. But in the Solomon Islands, for just $300, $0 to $500, $0, the equivalent of an average apartment in major cities like Sydney or New York, you can absolutely sign a long-term lease or purchase the usage rights to a small island with basic amenities. Many islands in the Solomons already come equipped with eco-friendly homes, featuring roofs made of palm leaves or light corrugated iron, combined with solar power systems and rainwater storage tanks. Some places even have Starlink Wi-Fi, allowing you to be disconnected from the outside world while still staying connected when necessary. The completely private space, with its crystal clear blue waters, stunning coral reefs, and fine white sand beaches, offers an experience of living amidst nature that's hard to find elsewhere. For those who love diving, fishing, kayaking, or simply enjoying the tranquility of the ocean, owning an island in the Solomons isn't just a dream, it's a real and feasible opportunity. Many international investors and nature lovers have chosen the Solomon Islands as a destination to build their own private paradise. Have you ever dreamed of owning a private island to enjoy a peaceful life out at sea? If you had the chance, would you choose the Solomons or somewhere else? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 7. Dolphin teeth and seashells still used as currency. On Malaita Island in the Solomon Islands, something once as precious as gold was: dolphin teeth. Here, dolphin teeth weren't just jewelry or trophies. They actually served as a real form of currency. For centuries, strings of dolphin teeth were used to buy land, trade livestock, or act as dowries for weddings. The more teeth a man possessed, the wealthier and more trustworthy he was considered. Even today, although paper money has become the main medium of exchange, in traditional ceremonies, strings of dolphin teeth remain a sacred symbol of respect and commitment. However, this tradition has also faced much controversy. To obtain dolphin teeth, people have to hunt large numbers of dolphins, sometimes killing hundreds, just to get a few dozen valuable teeth. This has led to strong objections from conservation organizations, as many dolphin species in the Pacific are facing the risk of extinction. And it's not just dolphin teeth. The monetary system in the Solomons has many other unique forms. Clamshells, dried fish, and handmade textiles can all be used as cash for payment and exchange. People might pay blacksmiths, teachers, or service providers with a basket of clamshells, a bundle of dried fish, or woven cloths. Some villages even established shell banks, where people deposit shells when they have extra and withdraw them when needed, as a form of communal savings. With this blend of traditional currencies and spontaneous exchange methods, the Solomon Islands maintains one of the most unique natural barter economies still remaining in the world. Number 6. A gold-rich nation that remains poor. The name Solomon Islands comes from the biblical King Solomon, who was known for his vast wealth in gold and silver. When the first European explorers arrived, they hoped this was the legendary land of Ophir that supplied gold to the king. In reality, the Solomon Islands truly is a land rich in natural resources. The country boasts reserves of gold, bauxite, nickel, tropical forests, and a vast 1.6 million square kilometers marine area with abundant tuna. Gold mines like Gold Ridge were once expected to bring prosperity to the nation. However, the paradox is that despite its abundant resources, the Solomon Islands economy is heavily dependent on outside forces. Gold, minerals, and tuna are exported as raw materials, meaning they're sold unprocessed. The real value lies in the later stages, like refining, packaging, or distribution, but these tasks are handled by foreign entities. Meanwhile, the Solomons has almost no processing plants and doesn't control the value chain. It's the same story with forest resources. For decades, forests have been exploited at an alarming rate. Timber is cut and exported en masse, bringing short-term profits. But without a sustainable reinvestment strategy, many areas are now depleted and even facing severe ecological degradation. More than 40% of the annual national budget comes from development aid, primarily from Australia, Japan, China, and international financial organizations. Many essential infrastructure projects like bridges, ports, hospitals, and schools are built thanks to this aid. Crucially, the Solomon Islands' financial policy heavily relies on preferential loans and technical assistance rather than domestic resources. Meanwhile, efforts to attract investment for developing processing industries or tourism remain limited due to weak infrastructure and its distance from other countries. Number 5. A national anthem born from a dream. The Solomon Islands is one of the few countries in the world that doesn't maintain any regular military forces. Since gaining independence in 1978, the nation has chosen a path of peace, focusing its resources on community development. National security and social order are maintained by the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force, with support, when needed, from neighboring countries like Australia and New Zealand through regional cooperation agreements. This unique aspect is why the Solomons is known as a peace-loving nation in the heart of the Pacific. This country also has an interesting story tied to its national anthem. The anthem, titled "God Save Our Solomon Islands," was composed by Panapasa Balakana, a Fijian-born musician living in Honiara. According to the story, Panapasa heard this sacred melody in a dream, and upon waking, he immediately wrote down the notes still lingering in his mind. He then completed the song and submitted it to the official national anthem competition. With its solemn melody and profound lyrics, the song won and was chosen as the national anthem of the Solomon Islands. Number 4. Must visit tourist spots in the Solomon Islands. First up is Guadalcanal Island, the largest island and home to the capital city, Honiara. This is the historical and cultural heart of the archipelago. Visitors here definitely shouldn't miss the Solomon Islands National Museum, which houses valuable Melanesian cultural artifacts and relics from World War II. Another highlight is the Guadalcanal American Memorial, marking the fierce battles between the US and Japan. After your visit, swing by the Honiara Central Market to immerse yourself in the local colors, admiring seashells, handicrafts, and countless local products. Another impressive destination is Renelle Island, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's famous for Lake Tanganyika, largest saltwater lake located on a coral island, surrounded by cliffs and dense forests, and home to many rare bird species. This is a paradise for anyone passionate about biological exploration, nature, research, or bird photography. Finally, if you're looking for a royal-level experience, Tavanipupu Island is the perfect choice. This private island once hosted Prince William and Princess Kate during their 2012 tour, with its renowned Tavanipupu Private Island Resort. It's an ideal destination for those seeking a private getaway, a romantic honeymoon, or simply a detox from the bustling tech world. Which of these spots sounds most appealing to you? And if you could visit the Solomon Islands, where would you choose to stop first? Share your thoughts. Number 3. Travel costs and key tips. The Solomon Islands isn't a common tourist destination, and the travel costs clearly reflect that. It's one of the few countries left that still has that pristine, untouched tropical island beauty, but in return, everything is more expensive due to transportation costs, limited infrastructure, and the isolation of the islands. Round-trip flights from major cities like Brisbane, Australia, or Nadi, Fiji to Honiara typically range from $500 to $1,000 USD. Domestic prices aren't cheap either. A 3-star hotel room in Honiara usually costs $80 to $150 per night, while resorts on private islands or near coral reefs can go up to $300 per night. Eating at a local restaurant might be around $10, $20 per meal, but at upscale tourist spots, that could easily double. The cost of traveling between islands is an unexpected factor for many. Due to the poor road system, visitors often have to travel by boat or small plane. These aren't cheap options. For example, a domestic flight from Honiara to Gizo Island could cost around $150, $200 per one-way trip. However, if you plan carefully, avoid peak season, and opt for local homestays, you can significantly reduce costs. A budget-friendly trip lasting 5-7 days could be kept within $1,200 to $1,500 USD, excluding international airfare. Besides costs, there are a few special things to keep in mind when visiting the Solomon Islands. The country doesn't have widespread ATM infrastructure, so you should prepare enough cash, Solomon Islands dollars or Australian dollars, before heading to the smaller islands. Credit cards are only accepted at some larger hotels and restaurants in the capital, Honiara. Internet connection is often unstable and quite expensive, so you should factor this in before relying heavily on online access during your trip. Another thing to note is that during the rainy season, many areas on the islands can get flooded or become difficult to access. Therefore, you should check the weather forecast and tourist seasons before booking your itinerary. No. 2. Unique festivals. One of the standout festivals is the Lagoon Festival, held annually in the Morovo Lagoon area, or Gizo town in Western Province. This is an occasion where locals honor their traditional fishermen, coral reefs, and the marine heritage they've preserved for generations. The festival atmosphere is vibrant with canoe races on the lagoon, unique whale dance performances that mimic the lives of deep-sea fishermen, and exhibits of intricate wood carvings, shell jewelry, and delicate clamshell crafts. Notably, the spiritual rituals honoring ancestors lost at sea add a profound and sacred dimension to this festival. Equally grand is the Festival of Pacific Arts, the largest cultural festival in the Pacific, held every 4 years, and it took place in the Solomon Islands in 2012. This event brings together dozens of countries from the region, creating a vibrant cultural tapestry with Melanesian, Polynesian, and Micronesian dances, processions of chiefs' canoes, indigenous music, and resonant drum performances that echo across the sea and sky. Attending this festival is like stepping back in time, witnessing ancient island civilizations reenacted right before your eyes. Number 1. An authentic culinary paradise. The cuisine of the Solomon Islands is a wonderful blend of ocean flavors and the rustic charm of the tropical jungle. Most ingredients are sourced directly from the island's natural environment and prepared using traditional methods. One of the most iconic dishes is poi, a lightly fermented taro paste that's boiled until tender and has a pleasant, mild, sour taste. It's usually served with grilled fish or wild greens. This dish is common in daily meals but also features prominently in major festivals. Solomon Islanders are very proud of kakake, which is fresh fish grilled over hot coals, often seasoned simply with sea salt and aromatic leaves. This method preserves the distinct, fresh flavor of the sea. For seafood lovers, coconut crab is an unforgettable experience. This giant land crab has firm, sweet, and rich meat, typically grilled or steamed to keep its full flavor intact. A unique dish you shouldn't miss is lu, often called the tropical rainforest lasagna. This dish consists of layers of taro leaves, coconut cream, and fish or meat, all stacked, wrapped in banana leaves, and baked under hot coals. The aroma of the taro leaves and the creamy coconut create a flavor that's both exotic and incredibly appealing. To finish a meal, locals often offer earth oven banana cake, a dessert made from mashed ripe bananas mixed with grated coconut, then baked in an earth oven until fragrant. And with that, we've explored 15 fascinating facts about Solomon Islands. I hope what we've shared has given you a fresh and deeper insight into this wonderful country. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next adventures. Which fact impressed you the most? Don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. The information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.